What advice do you have for declining food without offending family members or hosts?
You're able to make better choices. If you're not going to change yourself, how do you think you're going to change your children?
Most of the people go for a walk outside soon after. I've seen that approach in many of the
people.
Wow.
He. Hey, there's a party in the dinner. They negotiate with their nafs.
chai is the need of the hour. Like chai nahi hai.
Going out there and eating mindfully is better than just eating about anything. That's on top of what you already ate, which was already not the best. Our cultures may have some carbs. I'm
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
Angry.
Your health is very crucial than what other people think. Don't go there for eating.
I wouldn't say that, Hamad.
Okay.
Control.
Have you ever felt torn between enjoying social gatherings, dawats, staying on track with your fitness goals? Do you struggle with the endless temptations at lavish weddings or Eid festivals? Or maybe you found yourself giving in to family pressure even when you were determined to stay healthy. If you have been there, you're not alone. Welcome to Desi Diet Diaries, where we dive deep into the nutrition, fitness, and health goals related to Desis. Everything that you hear with us will be related to the Desi culture, inshallah ta'ala, and will help you maintain and stay fit. So, inshallah, today's episode is going to be regarding the family events and how to stay fit while enjoying those dawats out there and the family gatherings, and let it be Eid festivals, let it be any kind of festival. Inshallah ta'ala, after this podcast, you will be able to make good choices and actually stay fit. Inshallah ta'ala. So we have our coach, Saad, here with us, the founder and CEO of the New Fit Ummah. Assalamu alaikum, Coach Saad. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And we have Brother Fawad, an entrepreneur, and he's going to be our co-host for today, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's a pleasure to have all of you here. Alhamdulillah. So, how do you guys feel?
Alhamdulillah, I feel more, with energy and everything because Saad's already over here. So, you already have that effect of having the better choices because somebody is policing around you. But alhamdulillah for everything. And this topic is very close to me because, peer pressure is a big thing in our community. And I think not just the Desis, but I think this episode might be beneficial for anyone who has a lifestyle based on people around them. So navigating the peer pressures. And,
100%.
Inshallah.
So, Coach Saad, how can someone participate fully in festivals and social gatherings without compromising their fitness goals?
How many festival and social gatherings are we talking about per week?
Well,
That's a good
I don't
question.
know. It depends on the person. Subhanallah.
If it's Woodbridge, then every weekend, I guess. Our local place that we have, there is a community Woodbridge, then it's just every weekend over there. But, very frequent in our cultures, people call each other, I would say, very frequent. Maybe 2.
Yeah. So, there's always, the parties and the festivals out there where you go out and enjoy yourself. You have everything on the table, from naan to rasmalai to biryani to...
You forgot the kebabs.
We don't have kebabs every time. It's mostly biryani, it's naan, it's the double ka meetha, the fruit salad and everything. So you can still have it and enjoy yourself but make sure you are mindful. What I mean by that is, for example, you were at a place where you were consuming biryani,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also have the rasmalai,
Mm-hmm.
and you also have the naan.
Mm-hmm.
What you would do is you would grab the biryani, but you would take less rice and more meat.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting more protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what you can also do is you can get some vegetables. There should be a vegetable curry. Yes, it might be fatty, but you can remove all the oil as much as possible and get that. And maybe some kebabs, if, as Brother Fawad mentioned, you can get that and add it in your plate. Ideally, go for a grilled option and then enjoy yourself, because some of the people will have the parties or the dawats every single week, or sometimes thrice or 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
So there are always many options you can opt for. One of the ways I have recommended a lot of people are like there would be an option for an planned event, which is a planned dawat or a party, and there's something which is called as unplanned event. Okay, so what you can do is, first, if it's a plan, even if you're already aware of that couple of weeks ago or couple of days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do is plan your day accordingly. Ideally, eat some lower carbs and more protein and fiber, and save some energy so you can actually enjoy in your dinner party, right? Because if you're just gonna eat the way you usually eat and then still eat more, because that's calorie dense, more carbs, and the usual desi approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will end up increasing the calories and you will be thrown way off from the momentum which you have already created.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is, first, if you can avoid the parties very consistently, don't go too many times. If you are a person who cannot control, restrict himself from balancing the food,
Mm-hmm.
because once or twice is okay. If you're going there and not making mindful choices and just eating about everything out there, there's no way you will be able to maintain your weight. Because see, going out there and eating mindfully is better than just eating about anything. So what I would say, if you are a person, you know yourself that you cannot control, then I would say just take lesser invitations, or accept lesser invitations, and be mindful of that, and just eat from your home and then go there in the social gathering, so you can actually benefit from the socializing instead of just eating about anything.
No, definitely 100%. One thing that I remember, subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If you are a desi trying to lose weight and gain lean muscle, and you have tried every single approach out there, you have tried the restrictive diets, you have tried fasting, you have tried every single thing that you can think of, and you have no clue how to lose weight, then inshallah we can help you with our coaching, the New Fit Ummah online Muslim fitness coaching, where we help people lose weight without starving and while enjoying the foods they love. Inshallah ta'ala, you will be easily able to lose between 20 to 30 pounds within a period of 90 days or less, with your underlying conditions. Let it be hypothyroidism, let it be high blood pressure, let it be anything. Inshallah ta'ala, we will see that if you are ready to impact your life, then we are ready to help you make a change for your whole life, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum. One of the interested persons that I spoke to regarding their weight loss journey, they were really, this guy was, subhanallah, really concerned about his health. Right.
Okay.
And he was eating basically like anything that you can think of, like really in a normal desi culture way, right? So like biryani and samosas and all those things, subhanallah, you can think of. By the way, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be eating them. That's what we're here for. Inshallah, like, we'll help you, actually lose weight while eating all those things, but definitely 100% in moderation. So I remember he definitely, like, subhanallah, he had stress,
Mm-hmm.
and he had high cholesterol levels. I mean, the bad cholesterol. And also he had diabetes. Subhanallah. if you can think of like all those things in one person together, then you know that, it could be definitely a hereditary kind of thing. And also, it could also be him making bad choices. So, why should we basically wait for something that bad to happen to ourselves? Why can't we make good choices right now when it's super easy for you and you have the energy and you have the bandwidth to do so? So subhanallah, that's what Coach Saad does, is what we know of. So the following question would be, what kind of mindful choices can people make while going to all those weddings and parties out there?
So as I usually mention in my podcasts and the sessions, that protein is very crucial for a person. It is a building block, improves your recovery, and provides you the essential amino acids for your development. Also, the fact that our cultures may have some carbs, may have some fiber, but they lack in the protein. So what one can do to improve the metabolism is to reduce the energy. The basic goal is to understand, what does protein do, what does carbs do, what do fats do. Protein is not going to give you significant energy, but the carbs are going to, the fats are going to, which is also the secondary source of energy, the fats. So you can plan your day, as I mentioned. What you can do is you can go for as I was discussing with one of the coaches I knew, he told me that a protein fast would be a good option, and I have implemented it myself, and I have recommended to a lot of people out there, and may Allah reward that coach. So the best way is to go for a protein fast.
Protein fast?
Protein fast.
What
so for
do you mean
example,
by
people do a lot of water fast. Is you just drink water and do the fast. Fast is you're just avoiding everything, just drinking water. A protein fast would be you eat protein, lean protein, or you drink protein, which is lean again, and then add only soluble fiber from vegetables. That's it.
For the whole day?
For the whole day, no. So you do it for your breakfast or lunch, and you in the dinner you enjoy yourself. Obviously, making sure the protein and fiber are high, but you enjoy yourself in that way. But some people cannot survive without carbohydrates in a way. Yes, because some people can, some people cannot. Most of you cannot. So in that way, what you would do, only your body would have 25% energy from the carbohydrates in your breakfast and 25% from your lunch, and then you would enjoy yourself in the dinner. Yes, significantly you would have slightly more calories, but overall the best approach is that, because you're just eating more of protein and fiber and less of energy, and then when the time comes, you're still getting a lot of fat from the dawats and parties, but you're not having this energy crashes because you were saving the energy. Now your blood sugar levels are slightly lower or in a moderate range, and then when you actually have it, you are going to benefit that, and your body is going to be in a very better shape compared to you not planning it ahead. That's the best approach. But what if you already had your breakfast, you already had your lunch, you get a call, hey, there's a party in the dinner, and then we want you to come. Can that happen? Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
A lot of times.
Yeah. So what would you do in that case scenario? You still do the same thing. You already ate your breakfast, lunch, and you still had enough carbs and fats in your system depending on what your goal is. And now you are left with very minimalistic options. So what you would do, as I mentioned, the reason we go to a party is because we want to socialize. So socialize. Don't go there for eating. That does not mean you don't eat at all. What you do, you become more mindful because you barely had any time. You didn't have time to plan. Before leaving for the party, what you do is you grab a protein shake or just some chicken breast or something. Again, eat more fiber. Or if you think you don't want to eat vegetables, it's okay. Just grab some strawberries, a half cup strawberry or something, or 3-4, depending on how much you want to eat. Get some fiber. Now, when you ate that and you drank some water, you're already satiated. Like half of your stomach is already full. When you go there, you don't feel like eating. Imagine that a person who's really hungry at a party, he would end up eating whatever is out there. What if you're not that hungry? You are more sane, you are more mindful, and you are more, you're able to make better choices because your stomach is. Because I'm a person, when I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Angry.
So what if that's you? If that's you, then I would say just make sure you eat something before you leave. Go there, socialize, talk to people, and then sit down. And if you want, have some protein, have some carbs, a little bit here and then, control the sugar quantities and everything. And that will really help you stay on top of your momentum, and also maintaining the macros, because you already ate, you're satiated, and you only ate because you wanted to socialize and to feel a part of that group or the sitting, not because you were hungry, so you ended up eating a lot of food.
So I've realized that, no, definitely 100% you're right. Because when you are hungry, you're more likely to eat the unhealthy food. And
Generally, not the unhealthy food itself.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't.
Like you
say,
get that craving.
I wouldn't say that, Hamad. Okay,
What do you-
okay.
what do you
I'm
mean?
being too dramatic, but yeah, for I mean, when I'm at events, yes, most of the time people might feel, but I usually prefer eating something like chicken sheikh kebab or something like head-on protein,
Something fatty. Something
fatty with the mostly protein.
Mm.
Protein like meat kind of thing.
Mm.
I don't know if that if does halim also come under that, or because halim is a big
Oh
part
yeah,
of
what do
our
you think about halim?
halim should be meat, so it should.
Yeah, halim is not just meat. Halim is made of lentils. Halim is made of chicken. Halim also has either chicken or mutton or beef or something like that. And then it also has ghee.
The best source of
Anyway.
Stop with that joke.
Anyway, so because they want to make it tasty, they want to make it fulfilling and everything.
zaban bhi dalte hai halim mein. Anyways, I mean, come back to the
Okay.
control. So what I would say is halim is going to have a lot of calories from fat, from carbs, and from protein, everything. And it depends if you're making in your home. You can have some recipe which has a balance of macros where you are controlling the lentil ratio to the meat ratio to the ghee ratio. You can still have it and enjoy yourself. But the interesting part is, if you are able to control the macros and if you're able to eat and enjoy yourself while maintaining the goal you have in your mind, you can still have halim. But when you go out there in the parties, that is the worst combination of ingredients that has been made, right?
oh.
Because it has a lot of ghee, a lot of carbs, a lot of everything, and it'll throw you off big time. So again, go plan, as I mentioned earlier, and just eat a little bit of halim, because usually you have oil all over it.
What if someone wants to enjoy it as a cheat meal?
You can, as everyone can. You can have your cheat meal once a week, ideally. Enjoy, not a cheat day, again, no cheat days.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between a cheat day and a cheat meal.
Yeah, cheat meal, ideally. Go for it. I would say dinner would be better, because if you eat in the lunch, you're going to have lethargicness towards your prayers, toward your dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, as well as you're going to treat your salah as a chore, because you'll be so exhausted, so lethargic, so tired. And one of the poisons of the heart is eating too much. As the ulama have mentioned in their books and everything, eating too much is a poison for the heart. The more you eat, the away you are away from Allah Azza wa Jal, His remembrance, His worship and everything. So there's no benefit eating in the lunchtime. If you eat in a dinner, it's okay, because you would just eat and go for like 15-20 minutes walk and then just sleep. That's okay, because you will have some spike, and that's okay. Just go to sleep. That's okay. But for a person who's diabetic, I would not recommend having too many carbs in the late night. But maybe they can have some healthier fat and then have some protein and then still enjoy themselves. And inshallah, that'll benefit them. So yes, having a cheat meal once a week and having halim in that meal should be fine. Just make sure you have enough protein and fiber again, because the reason I mentioned that is because there have been many research that have focused severely upon the fact that a person who eats more protein and fiber is going to have more benefits, more weight management, more absorption, and more cholesterol control in their bodies if they are going to stick to that. So yes, that's the best way and the best approach.
What advice do you have for declining food without offending family members or hosts?
Oh man, this is a big one.
Give me an example.
Go ahead.
I have this one, man. I have been facing this from a long time. Especially on the days of Eid. You have to be like going everywhere, all your family members, and everywhere you see shir khorma. I mean, at least people.
What is shir khorma?
Shir khorma, that
It's a dessert that is made from milk.
Vermicelli, milk. It's a sweet dish, and some nuts on the top.
Almonds,
I believe. Almonds and or kaju or something, or cashews.
Right.
So, like that's made, and of course there are dates in it as well. Some people put dates in it,
right,
for taste. So I mean, with that rich of a dish, sweet dish, and it's everywhere. How do you like handle that kind of pressure where you have to decline eating that? Because everywhere you go, everyone is offering you that, and people feel bad when you decline them. How do you navigate that?
First, understand this, that your health is very crucial than what other people think. But yet you have to maintain the relations and socialize with the people, go out there, help them. That's better than just staying back home alone and just doing what you like. But see, remember this. When you are overweight, or when you have diabetes, or when you have cholesterol, when you have blood pressure issues, when you have cardiovascular diseases, when you have a stubborn belly, when you have those obliques protruding out, when you have this joint issues because of your weight, you are going to suffer that, not them. First, understand that you have to be confident about yourself first. Yes, there are ways you can tackle that depending on how the person feels. What you do is where you go out there. I would say the best way is to, on a day of Eid, we usually have the shir khorma or the dish at our home, right? Mm-hmm. So what you can do, you can have some and then go there. The reason I'm saying that is, even if your version is still the sugary version, the fatty version, let's assume it's like that, you go there. When they ask you to eat, you just say you're full because you already had it from your home. So in that way, you say, I'll just take 2-3 spoons. That's it, because I already had it. Even if you had 1-2 spoons in your home, you are not lying technically, because you already had it, and you say, I'm already full because I had it. I cannot eat more.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, nobody's going to force you for that, right? The second thing is, again, as I say, keep your stomach filled with the right choices before you leave your house. So end of the day, when you're full, you can actually stay confident and say, I am full, I cannot. And you literally cannot. If you had space and you love shir khorma, and if they ask you, you will end up eating that end of the day.
So it's like the protein fast kind of thing, where you already had all the healthy thing that we need for the day, and then you just, make up for the unhealthy part by doing that kind of thing.
Yes, in a way, yeah. Okay. So I was listening to, reminds me of something. I was listening to this sheikh who is also the big imam of Makkah.
Okay.
Sheikh Yasir al-Dosari.
Oh.
Yasir al-Dosari.
Yeah. He's Hammad's favorite.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, he was sitting in a conference, and he was talking about certain. He said that the problem with people nowadays is they negotiate with their nafs. For example, there's green tea, okay, and which does not have anything, just green tea. And
This is
there's
not what he said though, right? In the
He-
green
he-
tea
he-
example?
he did.
Oh, he did? Okay,
He did.
subhanAllah.
He said there's a green tea, and I think he said tea, whatever. So you have green tea, and then you have another green tea, but with sugar. What do you think is the best option for your health?
The one without the sugar.
The one without the sugar. That moment you know that, and you know that that is better, you go and grab it. The moment you start communicating with your nafs and giving it reasoning that I did, my whole day was good and it's a little bit of sugar and maybe I can have that because I was very diligent for the whole week or for the whole day, you will end up choosing the other option.
That's true.
You will choose because that is how you communicate. The nafs, the reason you're communicating because you're justifying the reason for something which is not good for you. You don't need to justify for something that is already good for you, right? So from that, I already learned that if you are at a place and you know that shir khurma is not bad per se, but it is not going to benefit you completely, so you take a little bit. Comparing that same example with eating more shir khurma and less shir khurma. If you eat more shir khurma, you're all over the place. You're having energy crashes. You're having this gut issues happening. You're bloated and gassy and everything because you were fasting for the whole month and then you're just stuffing everything in your mouth and then the stomach gets messed up. And eating a little bit can actually benefit you because you're following the sunnah and then you're visiting the relatives and eating good, enjoying with your relatives and everything. When you already know that, choose the other option. When you're going to communicate with your nafs, and if you are not even sure about yourself, you will end up eating more shir khurma or you will end up choosing which is not good for you, generally speaking. So I learned a lot from that is the moment you start communicating with your nafs, you will do the other thing which is wrong. And that is why you're actually communicating with your nafs. So I hope that clarifies and helps other people to make better choices. So you don't have to restrict yourself when you go out there completely, but still be mindful because being mindful is what going to make you different from an average individual. Inshallah.
So how can fasting practices help manage indulgence?
A good example is from the hadith or a Quranic ayah from the Quran, which translates to that the fasting was prescribed to us as it was prescribed to other nations to attain piety and to have the taqwa, the fear of Allah, the awareness of Allah and everything. And when it is from the speech of Allah, from the Quran, we believe in that and we say that that's the best example to take. When Allah says that if you do that, you are going to get closer to me, and that is also in accordance with the fact that eating too much is going to take you away from Allah. So I'm not saying always fast or control it, but fasting generally is recommended, especially Ramzan. You don't have an option. If you don't like it Allah, you have to do it, right? But for the voluntary fast, if you do it, it is good for you. And also the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the people who cannot get married, first people should get married as early as possible. If they cannot, in any case, they are supposed to fast. Okay. What's the benefit? It curbs the desire, the impermissible desires. It'll take away the energy while you're fasting. Third thing, fasting is beneficial because now the science also comes and says that fasting is going to make you go into the state of autophagy where the bad cells are replaced by the good cells and clean, and a new generation of cells are made during the process. So when you see, obviously we first take the Quran, the Sunnah, and then the science. If we have no science, maafi mushkila, we still take Quran and the Sunnah first. When we have all these advantages everywhere, and then we know that that is going to benefit us, we go for that. And I have seen myself that the most concentration I have, especially during the month of Ramadan. That does not mean you keep on fasting every month and so much that you are not even following the Sunnah. So because the Prophet ﷺ was the best example, he said that he fasts and he breaks as well. So don't go beyond what he has recommended because we follow Sunnah, not our desires, and that is what we believe in. So fast in moderation, enjoy the benefits, and also have food and also enjoy yourself in terms of indulgence here and there in your cheat meals, and also some of the time when you have serious desire of eating something that is not good for you, but you're eating little, that's okay. So fasting is going to curb a lot of desires, going to get you on track, make you sincere, get you closer to Allah, and also make you more disciplined in terms of how you're going to plan your day, in terms of having your meals and doing your work at the same time. So many benefits from fasting, but again in moderation. Fasting also in moderation, only in the accordance of the Quran and the Sunnah. If you want to do the water fast, I don't recommend every day, but here and there if you want to do that once in a while, that's okay. But there are no potential bigger benefits compared to an average diet where you're just mindful.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. I mean, not a big one. You can just answer in a sentence or so. In our Desi culture, like especially in the households that we have, we usually see that people they have this thing called after the meals they look upon having a chai every time. It's the chai is the need of the hour. Like chai nahi hai, khane ke baad chai to banti hai. I mean, people are always looking forward for chai. How can people navigate with that kind of that kind of request when it comes up, and everybody's drinking chai, and you're like, I have to, but how can I? I have to stay up on my goals.
Because like you wouldn't be able to always request the guest to make the chai according to you,
right?
You know what
True.
I'm saying? So
True
if
that,
you have
yeah.
if you have the sugary chai, the tasty,
The fatty,
the
I'm not even
addictive.
saying. Let me reframe the question, because we already asked this question where he mentioned how to prepare for it.
Yeah.
I would rather say, let's reframe the question and put, how does chai, like when the event is done and the last thing is the chai, or if you are in a dawat where you're eating mithai or something, mithai ke liye to alag jagah hai, pet mein alag jagah rehti hai, and that kind of thing. So how much are you intaking in terms of the scientific point of view, like calories? Let's say, for example, chai, the normal Irani chai or something that we usually have, masala chai, whatever. And then in terms of mithai, if there is a mithai, let's say Gulab Jamun is the most common thing that we usually see. Like, just this weekend we had a Gulab Jamun for our K Sports volleyball thing with our brothers. So, so I'm just asking, like, it's very common, very, very common. So maybe one Gulab Jamun and maybe this big of chai. How much calories are we intaking in terms of affecting our health?
first, have the chai. No issues. Have a half cup of chai. Rather than having a full cup, it's half cup. No restrictions on that part. That should not be a problem unless you are a person who's diabetic and has a lot of severe health conditions. It's not the end of the world, and it's not like you're going to die soon after you drink that sugary tea. Have half cup of tea, that should be fine. But if you already had like 4 cups of tea for the whole day and then you want to add another tea in the night, what do you expect your momentum is going to be? And an average, for example, it has milk. Like 1 cup of milk has at least 180 calories with lower protein. For example, it still has some protein, around 8 grams of protein, has some 12 grams of carbs with some natural sugars, and 7 to 8 grams of fat in that. We are looking at like roughly 180 calories from the milk, and then what do you call the 160 to 180 depending on which brand, and then also the sugar, which is maybe around 80 or 100 calories from that sugar, and then maybe some people add the malai to it, additional fat, that is, we are looking at additional 70-80 calories from that. So that is just from the chai of cup, like full legit cup of tea. The Indian Irani approach would be, we are looking at 200, 250, around 300 calories just from the cup of tea.
I'll let you finish. Sorry to stop you in the middle, but when people actually drink chai, they have a meal, they drink chai, and most of the people go for a walk outside soon after. I've seen that approach in many of the
people.
I don't know.
maybe
with,
in
like,
my
healthier
I would definitely say
individuals.
I would say definitely in my household that I've seen. Does it actually help, like having a walk soon after the chai?
That's a good one. That's a good point. Most of the people do not, just to clarify, nobody walks after the meal because they already have the blood sugar spike because of the sugars and everything they had. And they're going to lie on the couch and sit because they are having this dizziness and lethargicness because of that. The best way is, if you have already messed up your diet and you literally cannot do anything, go for a walk. 10 to 15 minute walk has been proven, has been many research and studies, especially for the people who have diabetes and issues, to control their blood sugar levels and improve the blood flow in the system, improve the digestion, and also improve the mood at the same time. So yes, that is a slightly better approach, but that's not the best option, considering the fact that you already ate a lot and you already spoiled the momentum. But again, remember that one wrong day or one wrong week is not going to define your success. You just have to improve and get better the following week. Be mindful, be aware of what's going on, and then you can get better. Because walking can benefit you for that specific term, but if you're doing that every single day, I don't think walking is really going to benefit you, because the majority of the calories are from the food. And if you're not controlling the amount of calories that are going in, you cannot fix yourself. So be mindful, I would say. And the Gulab Jamun has at least 250 to 300 calories. So on top of the chai, if you're also having Gulab Jamun, you're looking at least around 400 to 500 calories. And nobody eats one Gulab Jamun, so you're looking at 600 calories altogether. That's on top of what you already ate, which was already not the best. So that's why some people think that eating dawats is going to throw them off and they don't even take care of themselves. If you're mindful, you can actually enjoy the dawat, eat one Gulab Jamun, have half cup of tea, go for a walk, and if you have already planned, you will have an amazing day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
As simple as that.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect.
One other question I have is, we have talked about the general cases, like if you want to learn from the experts, like Allahumma barik, you are an expert in this. What steps do you usually take when you actually go for a dawat? We want to know what you do. So once, I mean, people invite you, your clients might have invited you for their dawats. Once we have something like that from you, we might be able to make much better choices, getting from the coach himself, like lead by example, what you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If you can walk us through that.
So what I preach...
How about stop laughing?
What happened?
I don't know, the way he said. The way he said, what you do.
You already know what the answer is going to be.
Of course, I get to pick on him sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because he's the coach. He's always like, ye khao, wo khao. And, I mean, I get a chance to ask something like that. I get that now. Okay.
So what I would say is, what I preach to the people, which I've already preached from the starting, I first have applied that in my life. Alhamdulillah.
Allahumma barik.
So whatever you have heard from me, most of that, at least 80 to 90% of that, I've already applied to myself. So whatever you are hearing, that is from the live experience, and the research just backs it up. So alhamdulillah, that gives me more confidence while I portray that to the people or suggest them to follow certain things, is because I have already followed that in my diet, and that has really helped me. So I want people to benefit that, because what you love for yourself, you love for your brother and sister in Islam.
Allahumma barik. I mean, let me reframe the question. Add to it. I want to understand.
Once you heard the implementation part.
No, I want to really understand, like if you're given a plate,
Uh-huh.
and when you're standing in the line
Uh-huh.
to take things,
Mm-hmm.
I want our viewers to understand that we are actually getting them the practical approach. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
just imagine, like them imagining themselves standing in the line, chit-chatting with their friends, and going towards the buffet table. You're already seeing all those chicken and, those options in front of you. What would you take so we can understand how we can take approach for ourselves?
I think for that we'll have to give him the list of the items on the buffet. For example, just give him some kind.
I'll give that. I'll create an example.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Jazakallah khair. So what you can do, for example, there is a buffet happening, okay,
Mhm.
and you have some kebabs, most probably oily. Okay,
Yes,
maybe
100%.
grilled, but still oily. Okay, you have another option which has a lot of lettuce and cucumbers and everything on that, and there's another option which is biryani, and there's another option where you have oily chicken curry or the mutton curry, and then there's another which is just plain rice, and then you have naan,
Yep.
and then you have the gulab jamun,
Both
And then the
Dawat
chai.
and then you
And the
also
chai.
have a chai.
Yep.
Finally, so what do? You came there unprepared, unplanned, and everything, and you're just there, and you're like, I'm still on a diet because I want to make sure that I stay on track. What do? You go there, even if the people are going to comment, go and grab yourself as a bunch of lettuce. As I said, 2 fists of lettuce approximately, and put it in your plate. Second thing, you go and opt for other option, which is look for protein. What do you think is the leanest protein in comparison to the mutton curry out there and the grilled but oily kebabs? What is the leaner option of the protein?
The mutton curry or the grilled kebabs? Is that what you're saying? Grilled kebabs.
What do you think?
grilled kebab.
Yes. So yes, you go and choose the grilled kebab, and because it has still some oil, but you can take a napkin and then pat it as much as you can and then remove the excess oil, and you still get the protein, right? Now what you do, you go to the biryani section because you want to enjoy everything, right? You go to the biryani place. You grab again 1 piece of chicken or the mutton, whichever is there, and then you grab only a little bit of rice, like barely 2-3 spoons of rice. That's it, not more than that, just to taste it. Remember that. Do not eat a lot of rice, because why do we eat rice? What's the purpose of rice? Rice is there to give you energy, a quick source of boost of energy. Now you already have oil. Oil is a secondary source of energy. Why do you need more energy? Right? If you understand the food as not as a part of indulgence, but as a fact of fueling the body, you're going to be mindful. Now you already got the soluble fiber from the lettuce or the cucumbers or whatnot, and then you had the protein, and then you already had the biryani. Now what you do, you go, and nobody wants to eat plain rice anyway, when you all have all that, you go and eat your share. You start with the lettuce.
Start with the fiber. Yeah.
Start with the fiber. Start with your soluble fiber or the insoluble fiber, whatever you may call that. And then you eat the protein. And then you slowly start adding the rice with that. So you are able to control the blood sugar, control the cholesterol levels, even if they had a lot of oil, bad oil, if that's usually the case. And then when the time comes, you would be 90% full already. I mean, I'm asking you to make 3 portions as the Prophet ﷺ has recommended, 3 portions if you want to eat more. But if you've already eaten, you'll be full. Now, and when you see people eating Gulab Jamun, you want to eat Gulab Jamun, it's okay. Go and have a Gulab Jamun, not the syrup. Avoid the syrup. The syrup is already filled with sugar. You're already eating the sugary Gulab Jamun, right? Just eat one because you're already full. Okay. Now, if you want, you can go and grab half chai if you want to, but that should be just half. Limit yourself. And what I would highly recommend is to drink a couple of sips of water before you start the food and while eating the food, so you are already full, so you don't end up eating in control manner. Because if a person is full, he's full. There's no way, even if they say that we have special spaces for the dessert, there is no way they can eat more than that. They'll puke. So when they know they are coming to a stage when they are already full, they will control that, and they will be able to make mindful decision that is going to help them still eat the food and be mindful. And that is not what I recommend every time. And ideally try to keep those dawats for a cheat meal if you already know a week ahead.
Oh, that's great. Last but not the least, I think we'll wrap up now. The last question I would say is, what community initiatives can promote healthy eating? Like we have talked about so many of these events, and we gather together as a community. I mean, do you have any plans to have something like a food event or something, or do you think the community by itself should do something like that to actually educate people about healthy eating or something? And because this is definitely a need, because people are actually making wrong choice all the time, here and there?
Yeah, I mean, we have not planned a food event yet. We may plan that in the future, but yes, I would appreciate if a person or an organization can initiate and make some steps to have at least seminars or webinars, or at least a party or an event where you have smart food choices kept on the table yet made tasty, so people know that staying on track is not hard. Staying on a diet or sticking to a certain regime is not hard. If you are enjoying that, you can. So making the food tasty and then telling them at the end of the event that yes, it had only less calories, more protein, more fiber. I'm sure you enjoyed it. They said yes, and then you say that yes, that means that you can actually enjoy and stay on track and stay within your goals and enjoy yourself and do it consistently for your whole life.
That's great. Yeah.
So yes, that would be a great option to start awareness among the masses as a whole, and we can definitely plan later down the line, inshallah, to do something like that. But that's a very good approach, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I mean, like, another important question that I had was, usually what happens is, like, even if we, like, educate the adults regarding the food and things of that nature, and why does that impact their health? If we educate them, they're still able to make those healthy choices, right? And in their life, and they can get a coach or anything like that, right? But what about the children out there? So how do you suggest the parents watching this podcast to actually encourage children to make good choices while they're kids?
So for that, I would say the parents out there, that the children are going to follow them in any way, shape or form, and they already know that. If they starting from the basic things, what parents speak, the children are going to repeat that. What the parents do, the children are going to do that. What the parents eat, the children are going to eat that. So if you already know the other two options and you have already seen that, so if you're trying to change yourself, you're going to change your children as well.
Inshallah.
As I mentioned earlier, at least 340 or up to 390 million children and adolescents, I would say specifically, have been affected with obesity and overweight and issues like that. That's a big number in the US. That's a big and huge number. It's a serious thing. And the FDA has already said that added sugars are not recommended for the kids even. Why do you keep on stuffing them with things that are not beneficial for them? Give them something which you would prefer for yourself. And if you're not doing that, start from yourself. Then feed it to the children, or the children will just follow what you're doing. If you're not going to change yourself, how do you think you're going to change your children? And the interesting fact is, nobody wants their children to suffer. But in the subconscious mind, they know that, yet they do not follow. So I would say, if not for you, do it for your children. They are the generation. You are going to nourish them with the best foods so they can actually benefit themselves and actually go out and help people out there. And they can also follow the teachings to other people. Educate them. Not only in this, obviously you follow, the best is to start with the Quranic teachings and the Sunnah, which already promotes this thing. Then you educate with them the food. Then you educate them with the other things. Always remember, the change starts from your home. And the children are the example of what you are. If you don't want people to give names to the children, I would say start from yourself, improve yourself, and the children are going to become the best version which you want yourself to become, inshallah.
Jazakallahu khairan, barakallahu feek.
Jazakallah khair, barakallahu feekum.
Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. With that said, we will end our podcast. And if you have benefited from this discussion and any point that you can relate to, please subscribe and comment if you need help with anything related to fitness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.